Good morning, everybody. Semi-retired Bob here. I hope you all had a fantastic day yesterday. I certainly had an interesting day. I was thinking maybe someday with a little luck I might get to 500 subscribers, and holy cow, welcome to all the new people. Last I checked, I'd just gone over 619, I think is what I was up to. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. The first thing I want to say today is, Teresa, you know what you did. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. But if this is your first time here, I'm Semi-Retired Bob. I'm just out doing my September challenge. We're challenging to do 1% more today than we did yesterday. And if this is your first time here, welcome. I would appreciate it if you'd hit the subscribe button, because it is free. It doesn't cost you anything to hit the subscribe button. And if you like what I'm doing here, be sure and hit the thumbs up. If you really don't like me, if you don't like the way I look, or you don't like my shirt, or whatever it is, make sure you hit that dislike button twice to let me really know you didn't like what I was doing here. But I got quite a few comments yesterday. I got a lot of comments yesterday. That's what made yesterday so interesting. I stayed, because Monday's my do a few things with the trailer, but I was mostly getting the trash gathered up around the house to get it out, because I'm trying to get as much of everything out of the house as I can before I leave for the year. And so I spent a lot of time in the comments yesterday answering people's questions, and I got quite a few comments asking about what I eat in a day. So that's what we're going to talk about, what I'm going to eat. Now, you know, you've heard everybody out there talking about grass-fed, grass-finished, panda-massaged, as Dr. Berry would say, beef. And it is a little bit better. But it's really, really expensive. If I were going to try and have that kind of beef every day, every time I sat down to a meal, I'd only get to sit down to a meal, 3-4 times a month, and then I'd have to do, weeks of fasting at a time just to survive, because that stuff is really expensive, and I just can't afford that. So I eat a lot of ground beef. I throw in some Spam, and if I want something a little better, I buy stew meat. And stew meat, last time I bought it was, I think, $4.67 a pound or something like that. And, I throw it in the slow cooker for 3 or 4 hours. And then I pull it out and drain it and finish it up in the cast iron. And it almost tastes like sirloin tips. Not quite, but it does tender up the stew meat a little bit. And then when you sear it up in the cast iron, it tastes pretty darn good. But back to what I was going to say about the grass-finished beef versus all the other beef. I don't even remember who was interviewing Dr. Chafee yesterday, but he said something that made a really good analogy to me. He said, if you think about going to the Olympics, the grass-finished beef is winning the gold medal. And while the silver medal beef, which is, everything else, grain-finished, whatever, while the silver medal beef is not as good as the gold medal beef, it's still better than everything else in the competition. And that kind of struck a chord with me. So, yeah, what I want to do, because I know there's a lot of people out there. I looked at the analytics of my videos, and most of the people watching are above the age of 45, and beyond that, there's a great deal of you that are beyond the 55 range. And if you're like me, you're working on a fixed income, so you can't really... Oh, okay. Now that's the intersection I stopped at on the other side of it yesterday. So I'm going to go on down to the steps of this first house on the block, and then I'm going to turn around and go on up the hill to home. Okay, here we go. Man, I can't believe how far I'm getting. That's a long way. But anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, most of you are, 55 plus. So you can't, you might be on a fixed income like I am. You might not be, but I think everybody likes to save money. And I've been buying, they sell a big box of frozen beef patties that are called 75-35 chuck burgers. They're 3rd-pound burgers. You get a box of, I just checked the price this morning. You get a box of 32 of them for $23 and some change. They have a $10 for 12 beef patty thing that they run, but those are a little smaller. Those are only 1/4 pound sized burgers, so I have to cook up 6 or 7 of those instead of 4 or 5 of the 3rd pounders. And then I buy just loose ground beef. Now this is where you can really save yourself some money. You can buy the really expensive, I just looked, the 93.7, which means 93% lean, 7% fat, for those of you not on the American system of weighing meats. I saw that was like $6, $6.97, almost $7 a pound. But the 80/20 was $4.97 a pound. Stick with me here. The really cheap prepackaged pound rolls that are 73% lean, 27% fat, are $1.97 a pound. And then there's the little trick. I've been watching Simple Food, Simple Life. Robin went to Fairway. She asked him for it, and if you have a butcher, you can do this too. She asked them to save all the fat that they trim off of the steaks and things. Because they trimmed those steaks up before they put them in the case, and they got all this fat laying around in the back. Well, they sold her a 5-pound bag of fat for 50 cents a pound. Now she, and I expect her video is going to come out today or tomorrow, about how she rendered it all down into fat, into tallow that she's going to use to cook in. But I had another thought. If you have a meat grinder, you can buy the extra fat from your local butcher, add it to whatever cheap ground beef you're buying, and regrind it all together, and now you're going to have a 70-30 ground beef or thereabouts. And cutting down, your ground beef with ground up fat to raise the fat content is just going to make it even cheaper. So here I am, living proof. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a long way from being done. I still got at least 50 pounds to lose. But you can do carnivore on the cheapest meat you can find. You don't have to buy the very best stuff out there and stress your budget the other way. And like we talked about yesterday, or it might have been the day before, as you come off meds, you can take the money you were spending on medicines and put it into your food supply. Boy, that was a long way. Luckily, I'm coming up on my driveway here because I'm running out of gas just a little bit here. But I did definitely get 1% more. And there was just one other thing I wanted to go over with you here real quick. Is as I was looking through the comments, I have at least one subscriber that I know of from France and another one from Poland. Welcome to you guys. I think that's really amazing that here I am, just an old retired truck driver waddling around the neighborhood in Nebraska, and somebody in Poland and France is watching me. That blows me away. Thank you guys so much. Since we're here, you might as well go ahead and share this video out, see if we can't get on up to 1,000, and then maybe I can make $1 or $2 off of this thing. That's not the point. The point is I want to help people. But in this day and age, if I can make enough in a month to pay for a couple of ribeye steaks, that'd be pretty awesome too. But why don't y'all leave me a note down in the comments where you're from, just so I can see how far this thing is spreading. That would be kind of cool, you know, because I know I've got France and I know I've got Poland, and I'm pretty sure I saw somebody the other day from New Zealand, which is pretty awesome. I mean, that's the entire world away. New Zealand is, if you drill straight down through, that's about where New Zealand is. So that's all pretty cool. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed today. That's about all I have for you. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.